Drugs have been a problematic issue in the United States and in other countries all across the world. Within the past 10 years, one of the drug issues to come to the forefront is athletes' use of performance-enhancing drugs. Athletes of all ages are engaging in the use of these products. The drugs are commonly referred to as PEDs, are used in athletic competition by athletes to enhance their athletic ability. Throughout this film, you will be aware of the potential dangers from those who have used drugs and some of the sport's biggest athletes that have used them in their past. Typically referred to as steroids, performance-enhancing drugs have been around for decades. It all originated with the Greeks and Mayans creating portions in cocoa leaves to increase their performance abilities in competition. The main reason athletes use these drugs is to gain a competitive edge. Some athletes feel that they are too small or not strong enough to compete. Signs of a user includes the deepening of the voice, severe acne, and mood swings. Steroid users have become aggressive at times and in moments can be deeply depressed. The National Collegiate Athletic Association, referred to as the NCAA, has a strict stance against any form of drug use. They started testing athletes for banned substances in 1986. 90% of Division I athletic programs conduct their own drug testing. The NCAA contributes about $4.5 million a year on analyzing drug testing results. They also spend an additional $1.5 million to assist universities and colleges with testing. A positive drug test could equal to that student athlete losing 25% of their athletic eligibility, which is a 1-year suspension. If that same athlete has a second positive test for PED use, the athlete becomes permanently ineligible. The NCAA does allow athletes to appeal a positive test with the possibility of reducing or eliminating the sanction. Universities are given the opportunity to create their own rules and punishment, and if they don't enforce these rules, the NCAA can punish them. Out of the three major sports, Major League Baseball has the harshest penalties regarding performance-enhancing drug use. Baseball has a 3-strike and you're out policy. A first-time offender can be suspended for 50 games. A second offense leads to a 100-game suspension. During these suspensions, players are not paid. And if there's a third positive test, MLB then bans that player from the sport for life. The National Football League tests the players for PED use at the scouting combine that takes place in Indianapolis in each February. Once the player is part of the league, they are tested year-round. A first positive test usually results with the athlete entering a treatment rehabilitation program. A second positive test is broken down into 2 separate stages. In stage 1, a player is suspended and can be tested as many times as the NFL chooses to do so. A stage 2 offense results in that player being tested as many times as 10 times in 1 month, along with a 6-game suspension. 2 positive tests during the stage 2 becomes a stage 3 offense, which can result in a full calendar year suspension from football. The National Basketball Association policy states that a player can be randomly tested 4 times during the season and twice during the offseason. Since the 2011-2012 season, a first offense can lead to a 20-game suspension. A second test results in a 45-game suspension, and a third test being kicked out of the NBA. However, no player caught in the past have served over a 10-game suspension, most recently being O.J. Mayo in 2011. There are a variety of health risks involved. My informant, who does not want to be seen or heard on camera, says a user of the drug can suffer from a heart attack, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, to name a few. He said injecting these drugs into your body is like drinking a bottle of Crisco cooking oil. Also, sexual and reproductive organs will be impacted. The male sexual and reproductive organs will go back to the way they were prior to the use. However, the females won't. Several household name athletes have tested positive for PED use within the past 15 years. The most notable case was when Lance Armstrong, the USA cyclist, tested positive 4 times in 1999. A positive PED test resulted in him being stripped of his 7 Tour de France titles and receiving a lifetime ban from cycling. Baseball's home run leader Barry Bonds, who shattered Hank Aaron's home run record, tested positive. His positive test didn't result in him losing the home run record, but many people question if he should be deemed the home run king or just another cheater. In 2011, he was sentenced for lying to a federal grand jury about performance-enhancing drug use. Team USA track and field star and Olympic gold medalist Marion Jones wasn't as lucky as Bonds from her positive testing. She was stripped of several medals and eventually went to jail. New York Yankees slugger Alex Rodriguez is the biggest name star athlete to have a positive test. He is currently serving a 211-game suspension. The biggest name NFL player currently suspended is Justin Blackmon. The wide receiver was the Jacksonville Jaguars' first-round pick in the 2012 draft from Oklahoma State University. Currently, his suspension from the league is indefinite and has checked into a rehab program. Throughout this program, you have seen the dangers of performance-enhancing drug use and athletes fall from greatness from their decision. Plenty of professional athletes have went on to have successful careers and achieve greatness without using these drugs. Look up to players such as Tom Brady of the New England Patriots, who is a multiple-time Super Bowl champion and MVP. LeBron James, who is a two-time NBA champion, four-time MVP, and Olympic gold medalist. Admire athletes of character. I leave you with one question, athletes of the future.